founder of PDontheMove.com. Today I want to talk about shoulder surgeries, which is something I discovered that happened to a lot of people besides myself. As you know, I was diagnosed 12 years ago with Parkinson's and have been working diligently to put together some kind of a formula or program that would help people with Parkinson's. And the end result, we have PDontheMove.com. So many people are enjoying it, and we've been able to help a lot of people. And we're very, very glad. Because as you know, Parkinson's is a very elusive, very fickle, very strange disease. It affects everybody differently. And having lived with it for the last 12 years, I certainly have learned a lot. But I want to go back to when I was diagnosed and tell a little story, hopefully a short story, that I at the time concluded that I had a needless shoulder surgery. And I say needless because I was telling my doctors that I didn't injure my shoulder. And as an athlete, as a dancer, I certainly know my body better than most people. And at the time I thought, I wish it didn't happen, but I did have a shoulder surgery. It was a very painful recovery because the shoulder was essentially healthy. Well, about a year ago, and now 12 years into Parkinson's, my other shoulder, my left shoulder, started to suffer what I would call the effects of Parkinson's. It wasn't that the shoulder wasn't moving or frozen. It was just hurting, and hurting quite a bit. I couldn't sleep well for about 7 to 8 months, and I didn't want to talk about it on the internet or put it on our website only because I wanted to make sure that this time I'll find out exactly what is going on. I was living in South Carolina at the time, and I went to a specialist who had a very different approach to how to treat it. He knew, of course, I had Parkinson's, and he said, just work through it, which is difficult to do when you can't reach up, you can't reach sideways. I couldn't reach behind me at all. It was extremely, extremely painful. I needed help getting dressed. So that's how bad it was. I went to a specialist in Moscow who had a similar philosophy that I just have to work through it. And he gave me acupuncture, he manipulated my shoulder, couldn't move much at all. But oddly enough, as I kept working out, as I kept trying to rehab that shoulder myself, it did get better. And amazingly enough, it's almost back to normal without any surgeries. I was prescribed all sorts of painkillers in the process, which I couldn't take because they just made me sick. So the shoulder situation is such that when you are suspecting that you may have Parkinson's and you have what doctors refer to as the frozen shoulder, that may not be the whole picture because X-rays, MRIs might not show that there's any kind of a trauma or a defect. But the doctors at times may insist that you get a surgery. I would advise against it and give it time, keep exercising, work on your diet, and hopefully your shoulder will recover. This is what I've learned. Now, after 12 years of walking and living with Parkinson's, I can tell you a lot more about what goes on in our bodies. And you can learn a lot of it on our website, PDontheMove.com. And you can call us, you can text us, you can email us with your questions, with your suggestions, with your difficulties that you may be having, and we will respond because this is our job at this point. We want to help as many people as possible. So stay tuned, there'll be other videos. We call it practical progression. So we'll give you practical advice on how to deal with Parkinson's and all its difficulties and all its quirks. And hopefully through communication, through open channels, we will get to the bottom of this thing and hopefully find a way to live with it even better. Thank you.